Here's a segment from a recent Gun Talk radio episode. You can listen to all the Gun Talk radio podcasts however you tune in, or check out guntalk.com for more. The big story, of course, coming out of Buffalo, New York, and you've heard me say this often, evil is everywhere, crazy is everywhere. It pops up when you least expect it, and this was both evil and crazy. So the reports are of an 18-year-old who hated blacks, hated Jews, hated a lot of people, and drove to Buffalo and simply murdered a bunch of people. I mean, try not to put too fine a point on it. He shot video while he was doing it. I've seen the video. You may have too. It's on the web. It's horrific. The malice is incredible. But from a standpoint of, okay, what is there any takeaway from this that I can say, all right, what could we learn from this? One is that it happened very, very quickly. If you were in that store, if you were in some place where somebody wants to shoot it up, you have to be primed to act or react instantly. And I've always said, look, carrying a gun and getting the training is no guarantee. It just gives you some options. Part of that deal of having options is to have your mind right so you can react quickly, which means you start running or seeking cover or doing whatever you need to do the instant. Don't wait for confirmation. The instant you think, that probably was a gunshot, or I think that was a gunshot, boom, move. Out the door, out the back, into a freezer, behind something substantial, find cover. If you're carrying a gun, get it out. Here's a question for you. How confident are you that you can make a headshot at 15 yards with your carry gun? 50%, 60%, 80% confident? If you say, I don't know if I could do that, then you need to change something. You need to change your gun. You need to change your training. You need to practice more. You should be confident that under the best conditions, and these are going to be the worst, but under the best conditions, you can make a headshot about 80% of the time with your gun, with your carry ammo. The reports are that this guy was wearing body armor. We'll find out more about that as we go along. The reports are that a retired police officer shot him, hit him in the body armor, didn't stop him. I return to something I've shared with you in the past, something called the zipper drill. Kind of a modification of what's come to be called the Mozambique, two to the body, one to the head deal. The zipper drill is a little bit different and really predicated upon having a handgun with enough ammo. Not a single stack, not a revolver, but 10 plus rounds. And basically you start center of mass and you just work your way up very quickly. You go right between the eyes. Bum, 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 bum. Fast. Not something you want to try to create that skill in the middle of a gunfight. You want to have done that so that it becomes natural and automatic. Pop, 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 pop. From center of mass all the way up. Somewhere along the line, from starting between the armpits to throat to neck to head, you're going to find something that's effective. And, well, let's define effective. Effective in this case means just stopping the attack. I don't care if people say, well, do you kill him? I don't care if I kill him. It's not my goal. My goal is to make him stop. Not hurt me, not hurt my family. I hesitate to say that you should see the video because it is pretty horrific. At the same time, it's an eye-opener to how evil some people are, how fast this can happen, and to put into your head a different time scale of reaction. Maybe to get you to some real serious training. Okay? And for those who say, well, yeah, handgun's no match against a rifle, yes, of course it is. We have many, many instances of people with handguns stopping someone with a rifle. Many. Got to know what you're doing. You got to be good at it. But this is horrible. And of course, as you might imagine, the usual suspects are repeating the usual platitudes and calls for more gun control. Remember, this happened in New York State. They have almost all the gun control laws that the gun ban lobby wants to have for the country. All, shall we even say it so obvious? All of those gun control laws failed. Why did they fail? Because all gun control laws fail. There's never been a gun control law that has reduced crime in the U.S., and we have tried all of them. We've tried licensing, registration, waiting periods, background checks, banning of different types of guns, red flag laws, universal background checks. We tried them all. None of them have ever been shown to reduce crime. How can that be? Well, let me offer one thought. Because criminals don't obey the law. Hello? By definition. Sometimes you think, do I even need to say this? But here it is. This crazed person was willing to commit mass murder. Tell me how he would have been dissuaded by, oh, you're not supposed to have a gun. Now, there may have been other opportunities, and we'll probably find out. There may have been other opportunities to stop this before it happened. There may have been warning signs. It sounds as though maybe there were. There were people who knew that this kid was a problem. I say, when he was a kid. Now, 18 is not a kid anymore. 18 is a young man. But the usual players pop up with their calls for gun control. This fella, we should get into this for a second. This fella targeted a community that was largely African American. He was there to shoot black people. He was there to kill black people. I would hope that some people, African Americans, would view this and say that I'm going to get serious about protecting myself and my family. It's already happening across the country. Huge increases in the number of African Americans who have gotten concealed carry permits, who are getting training, who are buying guns for the first time. You have the growth of black gun owner organizations. You have very visible spokespeople like Colion Noir, who talks about this. A black gun rights activist who's an attorney, who's a shooter, and is very good about explaining all of this. It shouldn't be that you say, well, gee, if you're part of a particular community, you're more exposed or you should protect yourself more. But saying it shouldn't be that way is a bit childish. It just, what is. And there are nutsos out there who want to target blacks and Jews and gays and any other group that's different. Just people who are different. And if you're in one of those groups, you might even want to pay more attention to this. It's a pretty horrendous thing, and you could expect it to be part of the conversation. And of course, it comes out of New York, and we're going to have the Bruin decision coming out in the next few weeks. That's the New York State Rifle and Pistol Association case before the Supreme Court. I think we're going to get a win there. It's not going to be as big a win as we would like to have, but it's still a win. We'll talk about that in just a second. Also about some crazy stuff. The kid getting expelled from school for having a gun, not on school property, actually being suspended. And the school says, well, it's not school property, but it's property we consider to be school property. What? Excuse me?